Hey girls, so I got a question from Sanorin01. She asked me a question on how to find or how to define your crease for Asian eyes, and she's full Chinese and so am I, and I know a lot of Asian people of course have monolids, so they don't have that defined crease that most women have, the hollowed look effect. And with my eyes, when I open my eyes, you can kind of still see a little bit of a double lid. So I'm pretty lucky in that department. So I don't really have a hard time finding my crease. But for those of you that have a hard time determining where to start drawing your darker shade with your brush, I would tilt my head back. This is what I first did. I tilt my head back and then I use my brush, and then I just find the area of where my eye socket or my eyeball first begins. So if I feel it, like I can feel my little eyeball bone. I can feel a bone right here, and then I can feel my eyeball right there. So where that part meets is where your crease is. If I put my brush right there and I look up, you can see my crease right there. So that's a good way to, find where your crease is. And to help define it, use like a darker shade, darker than your skin color. And I usually use like dark browns. I don't use light tan color, because then it doesn't really accentuate the hollow looks for my crease in the eye area. So I usually use my NYX Hawaiian Coffee. This is a very dark shade, as you can tell from my skin. And I have it on this eye right now. So once I blend it out, it's not this harsh looking of a color. So I'm going to try to do this eye for you guys, and I'm just going to use my e.l.f. blending brush, and then I'm going to use the tip of it and then just pack on the color little by little. And then my advice is to go outward in. That way it won't look like the whole eye, whenever you sweep the color over it, that it's just connected line and it's too harsh. So I like to go from the outside of where my eye socket is, and then I like to pat on the color right there and then sweep it into where my crease is, like that. And I like to go halfway, so I don't go all the way in with the color. So I go halfway in and start blending it in windshield wiping motions upward. So I go from out to in halfway and then start blending it upward. And then I start bringing a little bit of the color inward. But that way it's not too much of a harsh line going across your eye. And then if you really want help in determining where your crease is while you're brushing the color on, I would just suggest looking up like this, and then once you think where your crease is, look up and then draw against that line. So now I'm just blending it upwards in windshield wiping motions. You can do windshield wiping or circular motions, but I find that windshield wiping motions work better for me. So basically makeup is just an illusion for your eyes. When people look at you and they perceive your makeup on your eye, they'll see like a hollowness in your crease area. So you're technically just faking your crease with makeup. And I'll try to do it darker for you guys so you guys can see. So once again, I'm going from the outside, and then that's where my crease is, and I'm blending it inward. And now I'm going to do windshield wiping motions, not all the way up to the brow bone, just touching it, slightly over it. And the key is not to blend downward into the lid area, because then your eye will seem smaller. So you don't want that to happen. You want it to seem like your eyes are wider and brighter. So now I'm going to try to highlight my brow bone, and I'm going to use my MAC Shroom. And this is like an off-white color, which is perfect for women with a little bit of skin, with a little bit of color in their skin, because too white of a color, I feel, makes my eyes look unnatural. My eyeshadows just look really off. So I like to use a little bit of off-white color. So Shroom I like, and Floof I like. So what I'm going to do is, when I apply this, will help make my eyebrows look higher, and it'll also make my eyes bigger. So I'm going to use my blending brush. This is an angled brush by e.l.f. And then I'm going to use Shroom, and then just apply this on the brow bone. So as you can see, I only have two colors, which is this Hawaiian Coffee and then Shroom by MAC. And that is how I define my crease. And I mean, it's not that hard, like I said, because I already do have that double lid. But for most people, it's easier if, you know, they have a guiding point right here, and then they draw in a darker shade. So I hope this was helpful, and if you guys have any more questions or anything, I'll do my best to try to answer them all, and I'll see you guys soon.